This video is all about applying a filter, also known as a definition query, to a web map layer in ArcGIS Online using the ArcGIS API for Python. So open up the set layer filter.py script from the layer settings folder. Here we are going to use the update layer method from the map content object. We access the map content object from the content property for our map object. And in this video, we are going to update a web map layer filter, also known as a definition query. Just to note that this workflow is a little different from the ones that we've seen previously in this section. Here we're going to access the layer definition property for a layer. That layer definition can have many sub properties, and we need to be able to handle that we're not overwriting the other sub properties and we're only accessing the property of interest. That's going to become a lot clearer as we go through this video. We first access ArcGIS Online. We then use the content manager get method and supply in our web map item ID, which I'll paste in now from my notepad. The get method will return an item object that will assign to a variable called web map item. We'll then use that item object to create our map object, which will assign to a variable called web map. As we've seen in previous videos, we have a get layer index by name function that we're creating ourselves, where we supply in the web map item and the layer name. And if that layer name is found in the web map, then the index for that layer is returned. Otherwise, none is returned. You can see here we have a second function to get layer definition. The parameters are the same. We're using our web map item and our layer name. If our layer name is found, the layer definition property for that layer is returned. If the layer is not found, then none is returned. We're going to set a filter on our county boundaries layer, and we are going to base that filter on the county name. So here we are using our get layer index by name function to return the index for our county boundaries layer. We'll assign that to a variable called layer index. We're then calling our get layer definition and supplying in our web map item and also looking for the county boundaries layer. When that layer is found, the layer definition property will be returned as a dictionary, which will assign to a variable called layerDef. As mentioned, we are going to use a filter based on the county attribute, where county is equal to Kildare. We'll assign this expression to a variable called filter expression. We are going to access our layer definition dictionary, which is held in our layerDef variable, and we want to access the definition expression property. Now, this definition expression property may or may not already exist. If it doesn't exist, we're going to create it here. We want to set that to equal our filter expression. Now I want to create our options dictionary. Here we want to set the layer definition. We want to set that to be a dictionary, and for that dictionary to be our layer definition variable. So originally we got the layer definition from the layer. We then updated the definition expression property that belongs to the layer definition, and in our options dictionary we are setting the layer definition to be the updated overall layer def. If our layer was found, so if you have a layer index, we're going to use the map object content property, which returns a map content object that has an update layer method, where we set the index to be our layer index and our options parameter to be our options dictionary. To commit the change, we call the map object update method. Before running, I'll pop on over to ArcGIS Online. Here we have our county boundaries layer. We check the properties and filter. We can see that there is no filter set yet. If I go and open table, you can see we have a county field here. We're going to set county to equal Kildare, so there should be one record showing when we've applied our filter. Let's head back to PyScripter and let's run the script. And we can see we're getting an error there, and that is because I am wrapping a dictionary in dictionary syntax. The layer definition is already a dictionary. So now I will rerun. Our script is complete. Let's head over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. I'm going to refresh the web map. We can already see that the Galway county boundary has disappeared. We don't have any blue for Galway. If I zoom out, we can see that Kildare is the only boundary showing. If I go over to filter on the right hand side, we can see our filter has been set. Let's head back to PyScripter. I'm going to comment out first example, and in the next example we'll just run another filter. I can see here I have the same issue where I'm wrapping a dictionary in a dictionary. Here we are getting our layer index for the county boundaries. We're then grabbing the layer definition for the county boundaries. This time we're going to use a different expression. We're going to say county in Galway and Dublin. We then apply the definition expression. We create our options dictionary. We use our map object, content property, and the update layer method. We set the index to be our layer index and the options to be our options dictionary. And then we call the map object update method to apply the change. So we'll run this script. The script is complete. We'll head back over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. I'll refresh the page. We can see that the Galway boundary has been reinstated. This time we can see that it is only Galway and Dublin that are showing on the map as intended with our filter. And we can see that county includes Galway and Dublin. We'll go back once more to PyScripter. Comment out the second example. And in the last example here, we are just going to clear the filter. So I'll just update the options dictionary. So we're first getting the layer index for our county boundaries, and getting the current layer definition from that county boundaries layer. This time we're going to set our filter expression to be an empty string. We apply our filter expression of the empty string to our definition expression. We then create our options dictionary where our layer definition is our updated layer def. We call our map object, content property, and the update layer method, supplying in our layer index as the index and our options dictionary as the options. We then use the map object update method to commit the change. So we'll run this script once more. The script is complete. We'll head back over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. We can see here we have our current filter where we have Galway and Dublin. We're going to refresh the map. If I go over to filter on the right hand side, you can see that the filter has been cleared, and if I zoom out, we should be able to see all the county boundaries are once more being shown. In this video, we saw how we could apply a filter or a definition query on a web map layer using the ArcGIS API for Python.